Hello, this is Ian,
And this is Jeff.
and we're here from Used Car Week in Scottsdale, Arizona. And we got to do our disclaimer first. Here we go.
I really don't know why we have to do disclaimers because everything we say is so good that nobody could ever be offended. But just in case, the views and the opinions of those people on here that are our guests are just of theirs and not necessarily that of the Auto Hub Show or Ian Nethercott.
Ian Nethercott.
Or Jeff Polo. So go from there.
Alrighty.
Ready, set, go!
Coming to you live, it's the Auto Hub Show with Ian and Jeff. Here we go.
All right. So welcome to Used Car Week here in beautiful Scottsdale. So why don't we start with introductions? So who wants to start?
Rini Sejas with iPackeT.
And go ahead.
Jordan Newhouser with Trulli Audio.
Rock and roll. So we have obviously an older guest that we've had before and a new guest. So
Wait.
maybe-
We have a veteran guest and a new guest. We're not suffering from ageism here because this is 2023 and we cannot do that anymore.
Oh, rock and roll.
Veteran
So
of the show.
let's start with
veterinary.
Let's start with the newbie guest. How's that? So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what you do and why you're here at the show.
Sure. So this is my first time at the show. This is actually Trulli's first trade show. And we've been working for about 7 years now on a product that we are debuting here for the first time, which is heavily focused on giving users the ability to upgrade their car's sound without any need for installation or wiring.
So how does that work?
So there's a slew of technologies. I'm not an engineer, but most of the people at Trulli are engineers. We design, engineer, do the assembly, and most of the manufacturing right outside of Chicago in Mundelein, Illinois. And so it starts with the speaker itself. So that's a globally patented technology where we've been able to figure out how to get 4 times more sound out of a space that's 4 times smaller. And so right there, we're like, how do we take that technology and really be disruptive with it? And so we started to think about the automotive application, given that space is so limited, weight is important, and the experience in a car is more demanding than ever.
So it sounds to me like something like from Doctor Who, like 4 times more and less space, that kind of thing. Is that what we're talking about here?
So something like that, yeah.
Well, you think about it, back us veterans remember the day where you'd get a factory vehicle, it'd have a cassette, player or a 8-track and 2 speakers.
Record player.
And 2 speakers. That's what
That
you
was
got.
it.
That's all.
And you forgot the loud button.
Of
Remember
course,
the
you had
loud button?
yeah.
That was great. So while you're talking, you know what I hear in the background? Douche, 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 douche.
I cannot confirm that is coming from us.
Wait a minute. Is there something else going on today where somebody is saying those words? I can neither confirm nor. No, sorry, no politics here. Thank you very much. Next, Rennie, old friend of the show, very young fellow, of course. So Rennie's got a new venture here, which is probably an older venture than he is. Tell us a little bit about iPackeT and et cetera, plus our Canadian friends that are in Canada.
Yes, we are in Canada. Again, Rini Sejas, I've been on the show many times here and been in the industry going on 30 years. But yeah, just started with iPackeT, digital documentation delivery, pretty much giving the customers what they want, very similar to Trulli. I mean, the customers buy a brand new car, they want better sound. When they're shopping for that car, they want to get all the information. And we provide it to them in a digital platform.
It's amazing.
That's very cool. So now the question is, did either of you offer digital sound? Just kidding. So the favorite question we ask everybody is, companies have the company has a focus. Somebody with a C in front of their title says, we want to get here and we want to get market demographics and get more engagement of the customer focus, etc. Blah, 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 blah. You as a person I'll go back to you. You as a person, what do you want to achieve here other than tell people how cool that stuff is? And by the way, the Trulli Mall is truly really awesome. It is, what a gamble that is. And I got to tell you, there's guys running around that would never be caught dead with a swag bag.
They have
With a bag full of swag. And I think whoever thought of that was really good. I bet you that's that nice person over there who's smart. It was her idea. So, but tell me, what do you think? What is it you want?
Look, first and foremost, we want everyone to experience it. So we're giving demonstrations on the patio, sit inside of a Jeep Wrangler, hear the difference of the system that it comes with versus being able to add that and upgrade it. But then our goal is to build an authorized dealer network, really focusing on the automotive application, and so giving them that primary and focus. Direct to consumer, we'll get there and we'll have pre-sales, but our dealers will get that the first and continued priority. So we're hoping to establish some credibility here, start to raise some awareness, and start to build that network.
And this is the first automotive-centric show you've done so far with the company?
First show, period.
Oh, wow. Okay. So company, how long has the company been around?
So we've been working on this tech for almost 10 years now. I've been with the company, the majority of people with the company, there was a few individuals that were working on the tech for a few years. It was challenging. And then my president, Len Foxman, he took over the company, and then I was brought on as number 2 and been there almost 7 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about iPackeT and why iPackeT. I know you were with another company historically, right? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about iPackeT and why the move.
Yeah, so iPackeT's been around almost 12 years now. We talk about CEOs in the industry. iPackeT was designed and built for a large auto group, successful auto group that just felt that there was a need for this information customers were asking for. And there was no vendors in this space. There still really is no vendors in this space that do what we do. A couple weeks ago, I was at Digital Dealer, and we were literally the only company there that provides the information to the consumers the way we do.
Digitally.
Think about putting a GPS tracker on every piece of information you give to a customer and able to track what they do with that information. How often do they look at it? Where do they look at it? What time do they look at it? Who do they share that information with? The items that we're sharing are common sense items. We'll extrapolate the ROs that are on that vehicle, so the repair orders that were done on that car, and put them in a nice format so the consumer can actually look at it, read it, and see what's done to that car. On a used car, makes pretty much common sense as to if you're shopping, you want to see what's been done to that car. You want to see what the dealers invested in that vehicle. We talk to dealers all the time that have, just for instance, they got 100 cars in inventory. They spend $2,500 a car reconditioning those vehicles, but yet nobody knows that they have $250,000 out there on the lot that they've invested to make that car worthy of their customers, to take care of their community. So, we think it's important for dealers to share that information, and we know from the stats and from the research we've done, the consumer wants it. They crave that information. So instead of having that customer bounce around all over the internet looking for information on a specific car, give it to them all in one neat packet.
That's cool. iPad?
An iPackeT.
Very cool. So tell me something. Roughly what kind of cost is the Trulli upgrade? And it's very funny. I laugh because I partnered a small lot up in Vancouver, Canada. And one of our sales finance guys, whatever you want to call him, he has a 2014 BMW 320. He wants to get rid of it for one reason. It does not have Harman Kardon. I'm sorry we can say that. It does not have Harman Kardon. So now I want to know how much this is so I can say stop whining and get this.
It's a great question. So right now, we're ramping up for production. Pricing, we're still keeping pretty under the hood at the moment. But I can tell you that the output that you get from a sound standpoint in comparison to an install upgrade, we're not only better from a clarity standpoint, we're not only louder if you want it, but we're also less expensive. So, and in minutes. So that I can tell you, and soon I'll definitely fill you guys in more as we finalize that.
I do have friends with the party that are looking for people to run in about a year, so you have a perfect answer.
Well, I know from my own personal ownership when I was younger,
Last week.
that I spent a ton of money upgrading my sound system through the years.
Yes, sir.
And what's happened is, you guys are in the space, you guys know, manufacturers make it harder and harder and harder to tweak anything
It's
inside the
almost
car.
impossible.
It's almost impossible. So kudos to you guys for having a product that can do that.
Thank you.
So in terms of like to give people who aren't obviously listening to your audio system remotely an idea, like what kind of realistic performance enhancements can they see versus say your average stock stereo in an automobile, for example?
Absolutely, it's a great question. I think the biggest thing for us that we have found is there's so much of the music that you're not hearing and not feeling in a car due to the manufacturing restraints of trying to look. There's a window that has to roll down behind the door, and that driver, if the magnet's too big, it's going to hit that window. So now they need a speaker that can only fit in that small space. So you're getting highs and you're getting some mids, but the meat of that song, you're missing. And at low volume, mid volume, even at loud volumes, it makes a difference. So what we're able to do is give you a speaker that you can place anywhere because it's battery operated and has no wiring. And it takes your existing sound system, similar to like a sound bar or a sub, how it enhances the highs, enhances the mids, and gives you all those lows. And then if you need the space, just take it out. It's pretty cool. Boat, absolutely. Marine, 100%. Absolutely. And then there's the tailgate because it's
good.
not
Now I know.
fixated to the car.
Now I know a guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing that boat life is a little bit louder, you got the waves, and you can connect. Well, you can connect up to 5 wirelessly, but we also have the inputs and outputs if you want to go wild. I'm sure you have a nice size yacht.
I don't know.
Yachts,
But
Not for,
In other words,
not
you,
yet.
one.
you
Not
can
yet.
take douche fishing now, right? I can't help but I don't know if it picks up through our audio, but I'm sitting here, you can feel it. Douche. It's really something.
We had a request. A gentleman came up to us and his request was hard rock song. Right away, one of our first songs that got requested in the Jeep. And I'm like, cool, can I come out there? Dude's just like, he's like rocking out, like as if he's front row at the show.
At the concert.
Did he have his hands up?
I wish he did. Maybe I didn't see it. He might have, but it really just that feeling that it sparks those memories. It brings you back, and for even music that maybe you haven't heard in a while, you start to hear parts of it that you haven't heard, and it just starts this exploratory path, and it makes your commute a little less frustrating, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And by the way, it will work very well with the Auto Hub show. You can hear the deep dulcet tones of me and the higher tones of Ian. So tell me something, Rennie. What to go back to our other question? What is it that what sort of like? How would iPackeT view this as a success for you? Obviously, we say sign up more dealers, but
For this show, we're here as a presence just to provide dealers with the information that we're not just for the large dealer groups, even though we have them. We have 4 of the top 6 largest groups in the United States. We are using our product, but we're also for the guy who has a small lot up in Canada. He can use our product.
wait a minute. There's big dealers in Canada too,
Well, we have some of those as well. We have a couple big announcements for our Canadian dealers, but we want to make sure that the dealers know we're available for everyone.
That's awesome.
So size of dealers, no matter, it works, no matter if it's
That's the beauty.
50 cars or 500 cars.
I mean, that's the beauty of our company. So again, founded by car guys, we think because we are car guys, so we think like car guys. So we kind of price things to make sense. Small store, small price. Big store, big price. common sense pricing.
Although I do have to say, I gotta steal this from you. I do have to say, Randy, you might have lost me at extrapolate.
How about scrub?
Scrub, I like scrub.
Okay.
Extrapolate and algorithm, that's what gets me.
So having been at the show before, Used Car Week, last year was in San Diego. What do you expect to get out of this year's show versus your experience last time?
Well, I think dealers are starting. I heard a terminology the other day that I hadn't heard in a while, and that was margin compression. So, with the price of interest rates going up, price of vehicles going up, demand I think is starting to come down a little bit. I think dealers are trying to figure out how we're going to continue to make the money we have been earning the last few years through this very high ride that they've been on. I'm gonna say the high they've been on. But how do they sustain that income, and where are they gonna get that income from? And again, a company like ours, iPackeT, we've proven that if we provide the customer with enough information where they don't have to go shop, and you build value in your vehicle that's greater than the car down the street, they're going to buy from you, and they're going to buy it quicker. So, our product has, many different areas where it can benefit the dealer, not just the customer standpoint, but also from the dealer standpoint as well.
So obviously, when you're looking at audio equipment in a dealership, whether it be new or pre-owned, some customers, I'm not sure what percentage, but some customers want to upgrade that. What do you, from the dealers you've talked to already? I mean, what do you hear from them in terms of whether they think it's a good fit to add audio upgradability to their used or new cars?
Yeah, it's a great question. So there's the market research side, right? I know CarMax has reports, and there's a report on their site that almost 20% of their customers are requesting audio upgrades at the point of purchase. But when talking to different dealers, it's not just audiophiles. It's not just even music lovers. It's just people who want to personalize and make that pre-owned vehicle or new vehicle theirs, exactly. And so, or tech lovers, or we've heard so many different individuals with we get audio requests all the time. And it's not necessarily from the individuals that you think are going to be asking for audio. So I think the demand might be larger than we're thinking, hopefully, but to be determined.
Well, dealers have been known to have blinders.
No.
Dealers
No,
have been known
not
to
where
have
we are.
blinders on.
Our dealers where we come from, they're wide open, they're open-minded, they're forward-thinking. Yeah, exactly. They don't do. You want to buy? Don't want to buy. No, they don't do that.
You think about manufacturers that do well with aftermarket. Jeep obviously being one of them.
Yeah.
Harley Davidson, another a brand that you don't go into a Harley Davidson store and buy a stock motorcycle.
Nobody does.
You buy it with $10,000 worth of options on it. Similar to Jeeps. So I think you're obviously in a niche market, but it's very high demand. I believe so.
Tell me something. So is Trulli just the sound?
Trulli is just the sound for today.
Okay, you got to go.
Very secretive.
I see President Jordan. I was going to say, so how do I upgrade to Android or Apple without getting a whole new unit in there?
So you will need a mobile device in order to get set up, right? It will work on Apple or Android, but we know that you're driving, and so having that mobile device in the glove box or stored will not be a requirement because there will be a vehicle kit making that not a requirement.
Cool. Look at that.
I saw a report the other day that said people are buying Apple CarPlay, and it comes with a vehicle.
Yeah, there's no question there.
No, the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it's huge, and there's vehicles that have aux inputs. There's vehicles that have USB only, like Sync 3 and Fords, and then it gets into CarPlay and Android Auto, and then wireless CarPlay, and it just keeps growing, right? Yep. And so no one vehicle kit or no one solution will work for every car.
Right.
And so that's where over time we're going to keep releasing more and more vehicle kits, so the compatibility will be there.
Well, you know what's funny? My doctor's a bit of a gearhead. So he decided he wanted a toy. Now you think, okay, doctor doing well for himself, got to go buy, I don't know, old Corvette, new Corvette, whatever. Nope. He bought a 2011 Miata for 12,000 Canadian, which is cheap, which is about what? $50 American. No, which is about $9,000. It's probably about 12 grand US, to be honest.
Sure.
Spent $3,500 on a sound system so he could have his Apple CarPlay, etc.
Sure.
So 30% of the 40% of the car,
Right.
he did just for his sound system. So there's no question. And like you
For
said earlier
convenience.
too, yeah, for
He wanted
convenience.
convenience.
Yeah, but
You
that's what
can't-
iPackeT is, right? It's convenience.
It's absolutely what it is.
Right.
And it's like you really can't play around with the factory sound system anymore. You can't go get upgrade one. We bought an old Ram, about a 14 Ram, came in, and oh my God, the whole center stack had a 20-inch display in it, and I'm like, that's so cool. We ended up having to kick it back to the auction because that fried the entire electronics of the vehicle.
Well, that's the thing, is you don't know who put that in there,
Exactly.
how they put it in there. So,
Welcome to the fine world of used cars.
Is it under warranty?
No.
Yeah, well, when you look at customization for vehicles, and I was just at SEMA, so there's a massive amount of customization, I mean, from Kevlar body panels to all kinds of stuff. And there's even turn signals you can put in the rims on your car. They're LED, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. But do you really want to do some of the stuff's the other question. But when you look at it from an OEM point of view, are they looking at this going, that's interesting, or have you heard anything from them at all?
We honestly haven't had any of the discussions yet on the OEM side. Now, internally, we love the idea of OEM because the footprint of our driver is shallower than anything on the market. And we outperform.
You said your drivers are shallow?
Driver slash transducer
Shallow.
Yeah.
but the performance, like we've gone up against the biggest, when you're talking European, global, from quality standpoint, we outperform them all. And we are substantially shallower. So being able to give that from the dealer, from the manufacturer right off the line, we would love to be able to work with manufacturers one day. Would love to do it.
And in terms of iPackeT, I mean, obviously you're working on the used car side. Do you find any difference when you're talking to new car franchises and possibly used car franchises? What that looks like?
Well, it's interesting that a lot of dealers get set up on the used car side.
Yeah.
And they see the success of iPackeT and what it does for their sales, the turn, how to track customers, customer interest, and they quickly just go ahead and turn it on the new car side. The nice thing about what we do is, and again, we scrub that DMS, extrapolate, but any added dealer add-ons can then be displayed in that dealer packet.
Right.
So, again, we talked about profitability. There's a lot of dealerships that add multiple items onto a new vehicle. We could pull that out and put it in a nice addendum that can be shown digitally on that particular car inside the iPackeT. So
as a transactional email or distributing of your
it can be.
information,
So yeah,
it must be a high open rate.
The packet has a very good open rate. Most customers go into the iPackeT more than 4 to 5 times. They spend about 38 minutes inside this
Holy
packet,
cow!
digging into you name it. I mean, we have the Carfax history, we have the ROs and the service history. We also have test drive videos that go back to 2008. New car brochures, which I was surprised to learn get opened more than the Carfax.
Sure.
They think about buying a 2017 BMW or the vehicles we've mentioned, and you can now look at that brochure when it was new.
Ooh.
And I can see what kind of equipment it had, what the towing capacity might be if it was a truck.
That's
So,
valuable because that's so
very
hard
valuable.
to find because as you search that today, you're just getting hit with new ads.
Well, the thing too is most customers, when they call into a dealer, they know more about the vehicle than the person they're speaking to. We've now leveled the playing field because instead of being if you're a Chevy store, instead of being a Chevy expert, that salesperson now becomes an expert on all vehicles because they have access to the information that the customer has access to. It's at their fingertips.
Powerful.
It's very powerful. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. All I could think when you said that is used car salesman, and I don't want to play that. We're all used cars. Many of us are used car salesmen here, and somebody says, "What's the towing capacity?" To tow it, big trailer, huge trailer, great trailer. Yeah, you can tow it, no problem. So you're telling me my Nissan Frontier that I'm looking to buy 4-cylinder, 2-wheel drive, short box. That'll tow my 5,800-pound trailer? Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Yep.
Exactly.
Then later they come back when it's tied to the side of the road. No comprende, buddy.
Well, that's the other thing, too. We provide, one of the things iPackeT's built on is transparency, obviously, with the consumer and the customer. But we'll provide the original MSRP, Maroni label on that vehicle, any make, any model. So, again, some of that information that the customer's looking for is on that Maroni label. There's a reason why the government mandates that they go on new cars. Why not provide them on used cars?
So a year ago, there may have been a little bit of a challenge with iPackeT customers when they're presenting their 2021 whatever, and the Monroney label is $5,000 cheaper than it was.
Sure. Yeah, there was times during the pandemic, pre-owned cars skyrocketed. They were selling for more than new cars because there were no new cars on the lot. So ebbs and flows, and I think as long as the dealer is being transparent again with that consumer and let them know, the consumer ultimately makes the decision whether to buy or not. And if the value is greater than the price of the vehicle, they'll buy 100% of the time. So
I think, and one good thing right now is if they pull up the Monroney label for that 2021, Tesla Model Y, and they're going to look and just see, wow, it's $68,000. You only want 42. I'll take it. New one's 50 now.
Exactly. Yeah. So we see that a lot.
Yeah.
So are you seeing any changes in terms of ROI for the dealer who has iPackeT versus not having iPackeT?
Yeah. So some of the studies that we did, we saw we looked at over 50,000 transactions, and it was about a $400 increase in gross profit because again, building more value in that vehicle, and the consumer knows what was spent on that car. There's some dealers that we speak to, Highline stores, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus. They'll spend in excess of $3,000 a car just to make that car certified. Yet the consumer never knows about it. So if I'm shopping that certified car versus an independent lot down the street that may not have spent $3,000 to certify
That's a good way to show off your work.
Yeah, it's exactly why it was built, to show off the work that you've done to that car. So.
Well, I have to tell you something firsthand too. The beauty of that, and we're little, we don't use iPackeT maybe yet, but the fact is, transparency is a big deal. We sit down there. Literally, we did this the other day with this 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer with 220,000 miles. Mm-hmm. So Canadian, it's like 8 billion kilometers. And we pulled out the Carfax and we went over it. We showed them the inspection, which is just safety. Let's not kid each other. We're not going to go put it through the shop for a 6-hour inspection. And the guy said, wow, he says, I just bought a 2013, the father, like about a 2013 or 2014 BMW. And he says, they didn't do this for me. And I'm not saying we're great, but Ace Motors in Aldergrove, BC. It is, it's a big deal. People appreciate that up front.
Well, like I said before, we've done pilot programs for some of the larger dealer groups, and before the pilot program even ends, the period that we've set up, they're adding all their stores because of that same interaction that they have with their customers.
Sure. Yeah. And by the way, I have to notice this swarthy gentleman walking by here with his Trulli swag bag. You're looking cool, man.
Thank you.
Good timing. Good timing.
So a couple of final questions. Jordan, we've kind of said it, but what's the benefit for a used car dealer to, when it launches, to get into, I won't use the other nets, just to get into business with Trulli?
Sure. Look, at the end of the day, it's about bottom line, right? It's about increasing your revenue, increasing your profits. allowing your staff to make more money on every transaction that they're, every customer that they're engaging with. But it's another opportunity to win your customers over. You connect with them through music. You're going to learn about that customer, just like iPackeT informs them on what that customer is and what they're doing. Music tells a lot about that customer. It's a good way to relate to your customer. And as you do that and you're transparent and you build that authentic relationship, price is most of it, but some of that is that relationship. And so if we can help you build that and nurture that, we know music is a big part of that, and we can be part of that too.
Awesome. You guys just came from SEMA. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, aftermarket sales. So
yeah, SEMA is a fun.
So why wouldn't the dealer not want to partake in some of that profitability?
I agree. Before Ian's final question, sorry to steal from you. I know you want it. I do want to mention Rennie just as a person, because he's done something very few people do, and he's got, I don't want to call it a charity because that's just it is, but you know what, it's very funny because a lot of charities are trying to get away from this term. We want to give you a handout, but he does something. I'd love to hear it more for kids that can't do something that maybe some people look at and go, well, why would they? But it's very admirable because you do it for yourself. You don't do it for anybody else's benefit, and it's very admirable. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing that, because I'd love to shout it out then, and then I'll give this back to you.
Yeah, so golf is something I've always enjoyed since I was very young. I had some medical issues a couple of years ago that got me out of golf. Thanks to the great doctors that I had at Moffitt Cancer Center, I was able to get back onto the golf course, and I thought to myself, there's something more to this than that meets the eye. So I started For the Kids Tampa Bay, something I just do on my own, but I've been able to donate. Last week was 237 set that I've donated to underprivileged kids and foster kids at the Tampa Bay.
Well done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that's definitely kudos to you, because it's very hard, especially for card people, to get it out of themselves to do something for others that there isn't something in it for them. So good for you.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing, when you get to see these kids and they're handed a full set of clubs. Some of these kids don't have anything. They don't have, they're foster kids. They don't have anything to their name, and all of a sudden you hand them a full set of clubs. And I mean, I give them, the drivers, the woods, the irons, the putter, the bag, balls, tees. I give the whole setup. They're ready to go. And then when I tell them it's theirs and they get to keep it, it's elation. So
Good for you.
it's worth every minute.
That's awesome.
Good work. Any final thoughts?
Oh, thank you all for having me. It's very nice meeting everyone. And, congratulations on your success
Yeah,
at iPackeT. And that story just gave me the chills. So,
Appreciate it.
Of course, if you're from the South, I got to live in the Vegas. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
yes.
Thanks.
Thank you.